triple-double this season. He's now speaking in the locker room with Mike Trudell.
Ron, did this feel a little bit more like early in the season, you guys kind of grinding wins out with defense, didn't necessarily have the offensive flow the whole time? Or what did you think was the overall theme tonight?
No, it felt like the first game on an East Coast road trip coming from West. That's what it felt like. You know, pretty much them first couple games, it's going to be tough because you've been on West Coast time the whole time. So we've been, we're 3 hours before, behind. But we started off the game, playing really good basketball, but we let them back in the third quarter, and we had to grind it out, which we're capable of doing that. We're capable of winning games in the high hundreds or winning games in the low hundreds, or the 90s. So, it was a good game for us.
Part of the point with the roster, right, is that you and AD are going to attract a lot of attention. Guys like Dudley, it's 3 threes, KCP hits 4, Caruso a couple off the bench. That's kind of the point, right? I
mean, that's what our depth is all about. When guys go down, next man up. We found out that Kuz wasn't playing. JD's number was called, and he stepped right in. Now we got true professionals on this team that's ready for action whenever, and that's what it's all about.
12 straight wins on the road is just not easy in the NBA, no matter what the circumstances are. What has been the connective theme as you guys have been winning in all these arenas?
We're just taking one game at a time. We take one game at a time and just try to be as great as we can throughout that 48-minute game, and then move on to the next one. We've just been playing good ball away from Staples.
25-point triple-double. When did you decide to assert your will when they started cutting the lead in the third quarter?
I assert my will when I step on the floor. It's all about just trying to make the right plays, the right passes, the right reads as a point guard on the team, and do the things defensively too to help our team win.
LeBron, talking about that, you always played different positions, but playing the point guard this year exclusively, you think that has been the key for you guys to have your best start in your career?
No, I think everyone just playing their roles, buying into what the system is, and trusting one another. That's what's got us off to a really good start. We believe in each other. We want each other to succeed. We trust what Coach Vogel and the coaching staff game plan is every single night. We just try to execute that.
Talking about when you went to Miami, Wade opened the arms, being the number 1 guy there.
Huh?
He opened the arms in Miami, Dwayne Wade, for you to be the guy coming in. Do you take the same approach with AD coming to LA?
Yeah, absolutely. I think AD's an unbelievable talent, unbelievable person. More importantly, he's a better person than he's even a basketball player, and that may surprise you. So, it's our job, it's my job to try to make him feel as comfortable as possible to help lead this ball club.
Mike asked you about winning 12 in a row on the road, but how much does it help you that even in the most hostile buildings, there is a lot of purple and gold in the stands? How much do you guys notice that there is an affinity for this team no matter where you go?
The fact that Laker Nation travel all over the world and all over the states, when we travel, we feel like our fans come out and travel with us. It's a very humbling thing, and it's our job to go out there and perform well in front of them. Because they take time to follow us, and so like we said, we just go out there and try to execute and make them proud. So it's a pretty cool feeling.
You believe that the Lakers are the best team in the NBA right now?
I mean, it's not about that. We just want to continue to get better. We want to be the best team for one another every night, and just try to get better throughout the whole game, and move on to the next. So it's not about
Ron, every night you guys come out to play with urgency. How do you mentally prepare yourself and the team every night, knowing that other teams are taking rest, low management? How do you prepare yourself and the team as a leader?
I don't really get involved in whatever other teams are doing. It's up to me as one of the leaders of the team to make sure that we're as laser focused as possible. We have an opportunity to play a beautiful game and go out and play it at a high level, and that's what we want to do.
When the Magic tied it 71-71, did you say anything to the team? Because after that, you guys went on a run.
No.
Was that a conscious decision for you to get the other players more involved? After they tied the game, you rattled off a few assists there?
No, it's just how the game kind of conducted itself after that. They do a good job of trying to shrink in the floor, packing the paint. It's my job to get my shooters open, get my guys open looks when I'm attracting defenses.
Is that a part of you making a transition to point guard?
No.
Is it any different?
No. I've been that way since I stared playing babasketball.
Everybody in this team has to accept a role, obviously. The fact that Dwight he's never been in a role like this really in his life, and he's flourished in it, he's enjoying it. How critical has that been to the start you guys had?
I mean, he's thriving. He's thriving. He's going to add more years on his career. and it's going to add an ingredient to our team for success because of the role that he's accepting. And he's just making the most of it every single night. You know, defending at a high level, rebounding, blocking shots, catching lobs, and with zero ego. With zero ego. When his number is called, he goes out there. When he's subbed out, he cheers on his teammates every single night. And you know, you know, we were lucky to be able to snatch him up, you know, late in the summer like that. But we're happy to have him.
Thanks, guys.
Time for a little Access 360. Tough Juice Caron Butler is going to do that for us. Defense. Are you going to the wall with those shoes so everyone can see him?
I'm staying put.
I
had to go. He had a 50-burger last time, so I had to run to the wall.
Yeah.
This time, you know, we got a quality win on the road. I'm going to stay put.
I understand.
You do have amazing kicks.
I feel it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I just want everyone to see your shoes.
Like, it's collective effort. And you see Anthony Davis' communication, controlling the paint, and you're going to see a drive right here, and watch AD just come and make himself available, and his presence alone is going to force that kick-out shot, grabbing the rebound and getting us right into the flow of the offense. And once again, Anthony Davis, guarding Gordon, you know, much smaller guy, a versatile guy, explosive at that wing position. Anthony Davis using his length, being extremely smart, using his high basketball IQ, and getting that little deflection on that jump shot. Now, him and LeBron in any pick and roll, they could switch, but he's just going to just stay in front of the offensive guy, Terrence Ross, going to just get the steal. Look, they're laughing about it. Like, man, you can't do that on me, man. I got too many arms, man. I got the plastic arms right here. But I love the fact that even though offensively you're not engaged as you want, like you're shooting a low percentage, but you're still trying to find a way to have your impact on the game.
I just see Michael Carter-Williams going to the goal. He had a layup. That was a layup. But he saw AD, and he threw it out. And that doesn't go on the stat sheet as anything, but to me that's eliminating a shot attempt. He's there, and they know he's there, and they don't even make the attempt against him sometimes because they know he's going to smash it.
It's a great point. And Brez, check out this. Some of the longest streaks in Laker history.
This is amazing.
You don't see the Smush Parker-led Laker team on that list, do you?
You do not. This is crazy. I mean, think about 9 new players on this team. I mean, including Anthony Davis. I mean, he's obviously a gifted player, but you'd think it would take some time to gel. Not so fast. 12 in a row on the road. You guys played so often on the road. This is a big deal. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome stat. Yeah. More to come. Lakers get the road trip start. How impressed are you with this team, James? Just the fact that maybe you don't play well, maybe it gets sloppy, maybe it gets tight, but they're still able to focus with that veteran group and not look ahead to a place like Miami, which can be dangerous. Well, more for younger teams.
Yeah, it's impossible to have 82 games of 48 minutes of good basketball. So sometimes you got to win the small little battles, and I think the Lakers are capable of doing that. They've shown that they can have a deficit in the first half and turn it on and lock people up. So that's veteranism. You know, you're tired sometimes, you're not into it, but you find those 4 or 5 minute spurts. LeBron, AD, guys like Bradley, even veterans, they know how to do that. So that's a good asset to have.
How much of it, too, Caron and Brez, when you look at this team, you know, LeBron often will say, hey, man, we're just in it and playing, but then when we step away, we realize, wow, we're doing what Kobe and Shaq did in terms of the stats with the consecutive games with over 70 points. But for this team, they know where they're at right now. They know where the Bucks are at. They know what's about to happen in about a week. But they also know that they've never lost away from home. And there are things that matter to these guys. Best starts in franchise history, winning the most in a row. I mean, those kind of things you start to know, and that can get you going in the fourth quarter if you're dragging.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you fall back to the numbers game. And, you know, one thing that's for certain when I see this team playing, and I always see LeBron James with 10-plus assists or 20-plus points, then the Lakers are usually 16-0 in those situations. So I know that once he's performing at an amazing clip, it's not always scoring, but just assisting the basketball, scoring 20 points. They believe that they can beat anyone, anywhere, at any given time. Ugly, behind, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the way the Lakers have been playing most of the season. Only 20 assists, you know. So I think they might have missed Rondo a little bit tonight, trying to incorporate Avery Bradley back into the lineup. So they got that accomplished at least. And of the 5 games on this trip, this one was probably the least exciting for the players. I mean, just not a lot to get up for. You know, it's Orlando. They're a game under 500. Now you go to Miami, they're undefeated at home. Then you have Atlanta. You know, Trae Young is amazing. He can do some things with the ball. Then you go to Indiana. The Lakers always have some crazy things going on in Indy. And, of course, you finish in Milwaukee. So the next 4 games all have some storyline that Frank Vogel and the players can kind of wrap their minds around. This game just didn't have that.
Does Dwayne Wade show up in Miami for the games?
Yeah, I mean, all sorts of things.
He lives in L.A. now, though.
Yeah. Karan might know.
I don't think so. He's comfortable out here doing this thing right now.
Working out, hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out. Spent a lot of time with him this last couple of days, so he's good.
All right, are we going to AD? I believe he's ready. Let's go inside the Lakers locker room. Anthony Davis is with Allie.
Anthony, coming off a season high for you guys in scoring tonight, you guys had to win in a different way. How would you describe what this one took?
Effort. We turned the ball over a lot in the third quarter and let them get back in the game. Even a little bit in the second. We know they're protect the paint team. They're very handsy, and they got their hands on a lot of basketballs tonight, especially in the third quarter, which allowed them to get out in transition and get a lot of easy buckets to cut that lead down. So, we'll take the win. Obviously, we didn't play our best on both ends of the floor, but, anytime you can get a win on the road, we'll take it.
You're not a guy that's just about offense, but the way they were collapsing inside, of course, making it tough at the rim, how would you kind of assess just your night?
I mean, I had some good looks. I missed them. I think I made some right plays, passing the ball to shooters. So just got to keep making reads, making the right plays, finding my teammates, and, making sure that, I put the ball in the right places. They can just continue to be aggressive.
Is the start of a road trip a good time to kind of win gritty and win ugly and kind of remind yourselves what you're up against?
They're a team that's not going to quit. So even though we were up early in the first quarter, we knew they were going to make a run. I mean, we all on the road, they're at home, so they got the crowd behind them. But, like I say, anytime we can, get a win on the road, we'll take it. But the thing is, we can learn from all the mistakes that we made. Is correctable, and stuff that we did on our own. Turning the ball over in the paint, knowing that they like to create turnovers, and which helps them, in their fast break game. So for us, we just got to make sure that we take care of the basketball and get good shots down the floor. But we'll take this win. Every win is not going to be, a pretty win, but as long as we win, we'll take it.
When you're missing arguably the 2 leaders of your bench in Rondo and Kuz, how much more vital does that make what you were able to get from Dudley tonight?
Oh, yeah, Dud's played well. Hit some threes, did some good things, and moving the basketball on the offensive end, did some good defensive plays. He's a vet. He always stays ready. He knows how to play the game of basketball. So, anytime his number is called, he's ready. So, glad to have a guy like that, who's always ready, no matter what the circumstances are.
The double technical he got, do you think he deserved that?
I don't think he should have been ejected, but he was. He's. One thing about us, we're going to have each other's back no matter what. And he stood up for his brother, and I don't think it was deserving of an ejection, but that's what they call it, So we have to live with it, and like I said, we through the midst of everything that was going on in the game, especially around that time, we were able to come out with a win.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, AD.
Lakers are back in action on Friday when they take on the Miami Heat. Tip-off is set for 4. We'll get you ready for game time with Lake Show at 2:30. Pre-game Lake Show, followed by Access Sportsnet. Lakers starting at 3 right here on Spectrum Sportsnet. Much more ahead. Lakers pick up their 12th straight road win with a 96-87 win over the Magic. We'll take you back inside.